Hola. In the most recent days, I have angered people. And having angered them, been, we'll say, called out to do shadow work. And I have. Firstly, I'd like to say I am sorry for any of those that were truly offended by the words I put out on social media. However, in my shadow work, I have discovered truth over truth over truth of who I am and what I stand for. Unity. Unity. And we are incapable of coming to a place of unity when we consistently create from places of separation. I support each and every one of you, all of my love beings. Each one of us are here for a different mission, right? One that is true for our own souls. As I've delved deep into my shadow work and even looked at the collective shadow work, right? As I looked at the collective shadow work, I saw how beautiful this uprise, which I've known, this uprise has to happen. It's been planned for a long time. It's been planned for a very long time. I have had visions of this since I was a child. However, each group of beings, like they're holding a flag, right? Each group is saying, if you're with this tribe, come over here, and if you're with this tribe, come over here, and if you're with this tribe, come over there. The problem with that is separation. There is no unity, right? The other problem with that issue is that just because you read something that identified the phrase as whatever it is intended to be, does not mean that all the beings holding that same flag actually are holding the vibration to which you're believing in. And I believe you're seeing that out there, right? There's a vast majority of people right now holding true to the Black Lives Matter. And within that grouping, they're seeing that there are other people who are saying that they too are, not only do they believe Black Lives Matter, right? They too believe Black Lives Matter. However, they're not showing up with the pure intention that the original creation was created for, right? They have their own intention behind it. And now we'll look at those who say all lives matter, to which I was persecuted for having communicated all lives matter. those that are holding flags for all lives matter, there is a vast majority of them that in fact didn't read information saying that that is an oppressive group. They're just standing in this belief system of course all lives matter. Why wouldn't all lives matter? Black lives matter, indigenous lives matter, all lives matter. No, there should never have been a separation, nor have I lived personally in that separation. And I've done my best to remove that separation in all interactions that I have. So why wouldn't I believe that all lives matter, right? Are there people within the group of all lives matter that are actually showing up because they choose to oppress those that are in the uprise? I believe there are. I believe when we realize that every single industry of life has been corrupted, every industry of life has been corrupted. There is nothing pure other than love. Nothing pure. And don't be fooled by a human being just saying, oh, I love. Are they authentic love? Do they love without conditions? Do they love with humility? Do they love with an extension of a hand or a word in order to create more and further unity? That is love. Love shows up with more love. Love extends to find that which creates a unity amongst all tribes. That is love. That is love. I hold no flag of separation. In all of my shadow work, I'm diving deep into all this stuff and sorting through to see where the miscommunication was, or where as I was projected upon, my white privilege was, where I was showing up from a place of hatred in the least, and not supporting the mission of humanity to uprise and take back the power from the industry. Let's get clear. We're taking back the power from an industry that has created it and sucked its life out of each and every one of us. Have those of race been persecuted and targeted? Fuck yeah, they have. Do I stand with them in their uprise? Absolutely. Will I hold a flag that say Black Lives Matter? Most likely not. Will I hold their hand? Will I clean their wounds? Will I literally pick them up off a battlefield? Yes. Will I hold a sign that encourages separation? No. To believe that holding a sign that says a phrase that other individuals who are corrupted are in unity of each other is a lie, and you should stop lying to yourself. All of us should stop lying to ourselves. If your mission is that in alignment by holding a specific flag, I support you. I support you as long as you are on the mission of love, healing, uprising of the human beings to a place of unity. That I support. There is no one area of human being that I engage with, right? We are in all vast different arenas, right? So I love those who hold signs for Black Lives Matter. I love those who hold signs for all lives matter. I hold love for those who are Trump lovers. I hold love for those who are Green Party. I hold love for gender whatever. I don't care. I do not care what flag it is you need to hold up, because that is what you are believing in. I will stay in the center of unity and love and harmony and do my best to bring my fellow brethren home to that. As I went deep into all of this, flashes and flashes and flashes of my life kept coming into me, of times that I have consistently done that, that I have consistently stood in a place where no one else has stood. Other people are all making other decisions based off of what they believe is true for them or authentic for them or whatever it is. However, each and every time I have stood in a place of love. I was telling a story to some dear friends who stayed with me the last couple of days. And I said to them, it's like I forgot about it, and it flashed in my mind. And I was in college, and I was in sociology class. And there were about 20, 25 ethnic names on the board, okay? So of different regional ethnic descents all on the board. Majority of them I've never heard of before, okay? I'm not a geography person. I have no idea. However, I am reading these and I'm seeing them. I've never seen the names that are on this chalkboard. And we had like 4 or 5 questions that had to be answered about each and every one of those individuals. And of course, it started off with, white people, black people, Indian people, something of that nature. Ones that were more commonly seen, Irish, Italian, whatever kind of BS. Then they went into ones that were like, I've never, ever, I don't even know what a person of that culture looks like. I have no idea what their features would be. The questions that we were asked was, first, would you be their friend? Would you date somebody from that background? Would you marry someone from that background? And would you have children with someone from that background? Okay? Those questions of all of those people, I answered yes for every single one. Every single one. Who am I to judge love? If that's love, if that's the skin suit, if that's the culture that love shows up for in my life, who am I to say no to it? That'd be a fucking fool. That would be a fool to say no to love because it came in a package that I didn't understand, right? Or I wasn't familiar with. That all that told me is that being would teach me something vastly or add flavor to my life that I hadn't once had, right? I was the only one. In a class of like 30 people, I was the only student that said yes to every single one. The majority of them wouldn't even be friends. I was horrified. Horrified how to stand in a world where people couldn't even be a friend to another human being based off of an ethnicity they didn't even know. They weren't even willing to know. They weren't even willing to know. How dare we live that way? This uprise has to happen. And I am sorry it's going to get messy. And I am sorry for those that are offering their lives in order for the rest of humanity to reap the rewards of love and peace and unity. But I thank them. I thank them for the offering of who they are. May their lives always be celebrated. I look at this and I think, There are so many people afraid to voice right now, right? They don't know how to say things without offending people. Oh my goodness, what should I say? I'm going to offend people. We're going to offend people. We're going to offend people. Everyone has a perception. Everyone has a belief system or a trigger word, right? So I said something, it triggered people. I still believe the same thing. I am not holding a flag with a group of people who are deemed oppressors. I'm sorry that they even exist. However, I believe that all beings that hold breath within them matter equally. And so to say the phrase, all lives matter, represents that to my spirit. Do I hold a flag for that? No. I hold a flag for unity. I'll hold a flag for justice. What this does is only separates us further. So let's look at this, right? There is a movement, and the movement is by no means is it simply Black Lives Matter. There's another movement going on within this whole thing. However, the majority of people, Black Lives Matter, right? Abso-freaking-lutely. Again, as I stated before, there are people within that framework, within that box. I'm going to use the term box, okay? All those people within the box of holding a flag saying Black Lives Matter, the majority may actually hold the intention of love and simply want to be equal to their other beings. That is amazing, right? However, there are others that are inside that box that don't support you to the degree that you believe they do. They're out for their own injustices, their own personal ego injustices. They're not here holding hands to help other people, okay? So what you're actually doing, what all beings are actually doing when they do this. Now we have what we're doing over here is we have another group over here that are holding their signs, right? Well, there's a lot of people that don't know the data. They're not going online and reading this information. They don't know they're doing some sort of injustice in your eyes because they're saying these terms. They're thinking they're supporting people. They think they're loving people. Instead, what's happening is they're now being crucified because people who believe you're not on their team because they said a phrase. You know what I heard is that the White House just put a thing saying Black Lives Matter right next to the entry of the White House kind of thing. Like, how bass-ackwards is that, right? Do you believe that? In the hearts of hearts, just because they put a sign up, do you believe that they're in full support of it? The movement has to move, but don't be blind. Don't pretend like just because there's an accomplishment means that we've achieved something here. That's, you know, a dear friend of mine said, she says, as the light warriors rise, the darkness will rise too. They are building just as fast as we are building. Do you not believe? Do you not believe that they see the move that the light beings are making and they're not trying to make some sort of stance in a different way or redirect the energies or fool people because they're still wounded? They're showing up from a wound. They're not showing up from a healed place. When we are healed, we show up differently. I cannot stop you from drinking the poisonous Kool-Aid. I cannot stop you from living in an illusion or a lie. You have free will, you have choice. However, I can stand true to who I am and the integrity within my body and tell you that I love all of these beings. And I will march with people, and I will hold space for people, and I will pray, and I will heal, and I will teach them how to heal themselves. And I will always do my best to guide and lead people in a direction that serves all of humanity, not just a segment of humanity, or rebuilding a broken system, right? Right now, we have the power to break the system down and rebuild anew. We have that power. And if we anchor ourselves to a term or a phrase or a belief that we're achieving something because they've donated money somewhere or giving the illusion that they've shown up somehow, okay? If you're so blinded by, well, at least they did this or at least they did that, then you're living in an illusion. You know, years ago, living up in Boston, it was during the time of the fight for gay marriage, right? I believe it was happening in a few different states simultaneously. However, there was a huge battle going underway about gay marriage. And a friend at the time and I were conversing, and they were telling me about how these airplane stewards were yelling at him and telling him that you don't believe in gay marriage, you don't believe in this. And he stood there and he said, it's not that I don't believe in gay marriage. What I do have an issue with is that at the time, you had the opportunity to break the system that it held on marriage altogether. And instead you fought for the same limitations that all people have within marriage. Think about that. We have the opportunity to break the system. I invite you to do so versus actually choose for the same limitations that the system puts on all of us. Because all races and colors and creeds are showing up for this mission right now. All of us. We could take this energy and break a system. Or you can take this energy and allow them to recreate it with more subdivisions and more control. We have choice. Right now, I want to be clear. I love humanity. I love this earth and all sentient beings on it. I would die for it. Lay down my life. Literally for people. I will take a bullet for them. If that is where God has put me on the mission, that is where I am. But if you want me to go and place myself inside of a box because it makes you feel safe, because it makes anybody feel safe, not going to happen. I'm not going to place myself in a container that's already poisoned. I stand with love, and I stand with unity. I know this will upset some. I'm okay with that. This message is for those that need to know they're not alone. They're afraid to use their voice right now because no matter what they say, they're being condemned. However, they stand with unity. They stand with love. I am here, and I am in support of it. And I say, let's co-create with it. If you are ready to move forward with love and are unbiased, I am too. My love is eternal. And I will not allow someone, anyone, to tell me that I have to check a whole bunch of boxes to live inside of a box, to make other people feel safe, when I get to show up and let them feel safe and honor them by being in their presence and serving them, being present with them and nourishing their mind or their body or their spirit with whatever medicine I have within me and around me. I love you. And I am here. I ain't going nowhere. More, much more to come. I love you. If this doesn't resonate for you, delete me. If it does, follow me. I wish us all peace. I wish us all gracious eyes. Till next time.